Alrighty, guys. Who's ready to play?
Oh yeah.
Me.
Me. Meow.
Hush. Ha.
Oh, what?
Uh-oh.
Sorry. Yes.
High or low?
Hi.
Eladrin, Midas, and Zar. Roll.
Just us three? Okay, fine. Shit.
Fuck.
Yes.
Here comes the nat 20 from Midas.
Please, waste it now, Midas.
Waste it now. Oh!
What was that? What was that?
Oh no!
What was that?
The opposite.
Oh, okay, because I thought. Oh, all right.
Zar.
I just see that, and it reminds me of Thursdays. Yep. Midas rolling low. Perfect.
It is Thursday. That's the official. It's like
Now we
smashing
can start.
smash the champagne bottle on the boat. That is Thursday. That's a nat 1 right there.
Right there. Boom, baby.
From our favorite player.
Favorite from her favorite
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. It happened.
The crowd favorite, fan favorite, Midas.
Lord, just me.
Wow. Hold for applause. Thank you.
Still holding. Still holding.
Still holding. Still holding. All right.
All right.
Zar, tell us what happened last time. Refresh my memory. I forget.
Oh man, I didn't take as good notes as I normally do. Okay, so bear with me. This will be quick. Okay, so the dead Kalinor meets the group at the entrance of the SoundCloud Island. What the fuck? He's alive. Zar. Oh yeah, we kill him because Eladrin's a beast, and he's a beautiful singing bard that made him float and he couldn't move. So we just beat the shit out of him, and Zar turned his body to ash to make sure Kazna couldn't bring him back. But as we're leaving, Eladrin's dad's like, "Okay, son, you can do it. We love you. Here's the ring." And then Kalinor's body comes back to life, and he fights him. And Eladrin's like, "It's like my dad said, it's okay. We have to go now." And Zar just doesn't understand. So we exit out of the cave into the strange island where it's very heavy and weighted, except for Eladrin. Pippi gets into some good kush / bush. I don't know why I put that in there. Koshka talks with Pippi about the group. I think he liked this. I'm not sure, he's a war vet, so who knows. There is a fire in the distance that the group starts heading towards. And let's see what moves we have. Eladrin meets his people and there's a big party, and they don't speak common, so it's fun to interact.
It's broken common.
Yeah. So everyone does something fun. I don't remember what it was. I gotta have to take notes. And then the villagers fawn over the group like foreign animals. The end.
Perfect. Love it. Yeah.
You
So
definitely missed a good person.
I know. Like I said, my notes were not on point like they usually are.
that's all right. So yeah, everything you said happened. So one thing I will retcon very slightly. So like you were saying, the air is kind of the air's a little bit lighter on SoundCloud Island, seeing how you're very up high in the sky. I think I said last time, like, your movement speed will be halved. Instead, we're just gonna reduce it by 10 feet. It's set for Eladrin. Everyone else, Pippi included, anything included, is reduced by 10 feet. So you probably have to keep mental track of that one for you guys. So pretty much everyone's at 20 feet of movement. Drag's probably at 30. Eladrin, you're normal.
Yep.
All right. Good. Okay. Okay, write that down. 10 feet of movement. Okay. Alrighty. So, the party, you guys wake up wherever you ended up passing out after last night, arriving on SoundCloud Island, meeting the Air Genasi that lives here. They had not seen any other race outside of their own, and they all marveled at each of your physical uniqueness, as well as some of the equipment you had brought in with you from the surface. As kind of the morning comes and you all are starting to rouse awake, Koshka and Pippi are cuddled up near the still burning, embering fire pits, and there are a couple of Air Genasi children using Pippi as a pillow, and they're kind of squeezed in wherever they can to fit on Pippi's fur. Midas, you're in a tent, and there were a bunch of Air Genasi women that were just like examining your outfits very long into the night. And you know, some of the materials and tools that you had brought with you that were in your bag from the surface. And they definitely did not ask your permission to look through your things as you're being kind of pulled back and forth between the village woman inside this wooden hut. The women, they were keeping you there by force the entire night, as every time you tried to get up and leave, they would just pull you back by the cape to inspect the fabric even closer. And you kind of ended your 4-hour trance with a few of the Air Genasi women just clutching onto your cape while still sound asleep. Zar and Drag, you both ended up dancing the night away. Zar, you had kind of been forced to drink the Air Genasi's fermented fruit wine by the village elders, and in the elders' eyes, it was a trade for allowing them to read the books that you'd brought up from the surface. But after a few cups of wine, you were more than excited to join in the dance circle. And Drag, you'd captured the attention of the entire village with your graceful dance moves. In fact, the Air Genasi had taught you some of their native dances, and you in turn did the same, reciprocating what you had known. And there was one particular dance-off between Drag and the so-called best dancer in the village named Zaru, which got a little bit intense last night. And Drag, it got so intense that you ended up bringing out the glitter angels as backup dancers to blow Zaru out of the water.
Yep.
And Aladrian, you had spent the night begrudgingly listening to Tempest, the village elder, who regaled the history of your people to you. And while you were in the little wooden hut, the sounds of the party just outside the walls drove you a little bit mad with the fear of missing out, but something in the back of your mind compelled you to stay and listen to the stories. Maybe it was seeing Tempest absolutely ecstatic at the fact he got to tell somebody new the story of Sumida the Exalted and the Air Genasi that came before him. Or maybe it was the look of excitement you remembered in your father Dornian's eyes when he talked about having his son return to his homeland. And it took every bit of concentration for you to stay and listen to the story, and you might have even burst a blood vessel or two in the process. But with that, who is waking up first, and what do you want to do?
Oh man.
Not all at once. Damn. I guess since Midas needs the least amount of sleep out of the whole party, it would make sense for him to wake up first. So yeah, Midas will open his eyes, waking up from his 4 hours trance. He can't even like move really because they're like laying on his cape. He was like annoyed throughout the whole night, and honestly, he's still annoyed. Like you ever like wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Yeah, that's Midas right now. He's like trying to like get up. He's like, move! Oh my god! It's like 500 fucking Eladrians. At one point he just fucking just takes off the cape and just leaves it there. It's just, oh my god! Before stepping up the tent, before anybody else could wake up, and here's just look around and see who else is up.
Yeah, so you kind of you unclasp your cape from your armor, and you kind of hear like some shuffling of the women that are just clutching onto it as they kind of shift a little bit as the weight kind of almost like falls out from under them. But they're still very much clung onto the cape as you look back, and you step out and you see like just the ground is absolutely like littered with just Air Genasi that just party the night away. You can see, Drag and Zar, and Zar's traditionally underneath Drag, just being just like one arm is over top of Drag. You can see this other Air Genasi, presumably the one that was dancing off against Drag, under her other arm. You can see Pippi and Koshka kind of just off closer to the fire pit with a bunch of children just on top of Pippi. That's kind of the scene you walk out into. Everyone's currently still sleeping, and the sun's getting brighter up as the morning comes.
Here comes the sun, little
Yeah,
darling.
I mean, I guess Midas was just, to sit outside the tent and just watch the sun come up. I feel like that's more peaceful and serene than being in that damn tent. So
It definitely is, and the sun is very, very large, this high up in the sky. A lot bigger than what you're used to. A little bit blinding in some ways. You kind of have to put up your arm to kind of block the sun, like you do in an eclipse. Recent eclipse joke. So yeah, you kind of block the sun. It's very bright and it's still pretty chilly despite how close the sun is. But you expect that the sun's gonna warm up the island very, very soon. And while Midas is hanging out there, Koshka, what do you do?
Yes. I think she'll kind of wake up gently and do like a little cat stretch, and then see that Pippi's all snuggled up with all the kids, and then she'll kind of just sit there and watch as the sun comes up. And maybe she'll take out her pan flute and just start playing do 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 first thing in the morning, very
roll-
peacefully.
Yeah, roll performance for me.
Damn it.
Well, you didn't think you were gonna have to roll. It's a proficiency. So yeah, performance, and then add proficiency with that. So +3 actually. You're all very proficient.
Yay.
It's a 17. Perfect. So yeah, you play your pan flute very melodically. A nice kind of gentle alarm clock for a lot of the folks around here. You see Pippi stir at the sound of your pan flute. He's heard it for majority of his life. He knows that's you playing that pan flute. Midas, you hear the pan flute, and you're a little bit shocked at that Koshka is able to play it so well, and it's not like some of the bad notes you've heard Eladrian play over the weeks.
it happens every time.
Whatever.
And as you kind of play the pan flute, Koshka, Pippi kind of starts stirring and shuffles and get up, and like 3 kids fall off of his back and just roll onto the ground. And they're still completely like passed out. You know how kids be. Just unfazed and just still sleeping. As Pippi rouses and slowly blinks open his eyes at you and kind of licks your hand.
And then like shakes himself off like a dog when he wakes up.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Koshka's gonna like scratch him on the head, but just keep quietly playing her pan flute.
Awesome. Drag and Zar, you guys being outside in this kind of pit area with all these people, you guys kind of start waking up. So I'll kind of let you guys decide who's gonna wake up first. As Drag's got like she's got Zar in one hand and this guy she had to dance off with in the other, and she's like very peacefully sleeping.
Jack wakes up first, and kind of hears the pan flute and is like slowly opens her eyes and realizes how bright it is, and quickly jerks her arm away from the other guy that I had a dance off with last night and covers her face like it's way too bright. Right. And then she slowly stretches out and kind of stands up and starts sniffing around for some food.
Awesome. Zara, how about you? What are you doing as Drag, just kind of shuffles off and just shakes you up, basically?
Yeah, kind of as she starts like jerking, he's like, Drag, 5 more minutes. And he'll wipe some of the drool on her dress and try to curl up. But as she gets up, he'll just like flung onto the ground. Like, okay, I'm up. Drag, where are you going?
Food.
Food does sound good. Corey, make us some food. Corey?
Damn.
I don't think she's here.
Oh, dang it.
We have to make our own food.
But Drag, we don't know how to cook.
Oh no.
Oh,
Somebody
no.
will have something.
Here, just drag me. I'll, just take me where you go. I can't move. I think these people's wine, it's more messed up than down there.
Drag walks back, picks him up like a child or a baby, and starts looking around for food still.
Zar's thumb goes in his mouth and he just goes back to sleep.
Oh.
How does Koshka feel seeing that? Because you definitely see that this interaction going on right here for the first time.
I think she's gonna like stop playing her pan flute and like look around to see if anybody else saw how weird that was. And then she just kind of like watches Drag carry Zara around looking for food, and she's just like enthralled by it and also like horrified but can't look away. Why is he sucking his thumb? Like, what is happening? And then she kind of just like looks at Pippi, and Pippi looks at her, and they just kind of shrug and like try not to look at it anymore and let them do their own thing.
Yeah, and as you as you look at, the scene, all like the other Air Genasi around the ground, they're waking up to the sound of the pan flute. Some of them actually are very eager to like grab some other like woodwind instruments and kind of start like lightly tapping on some drums that they have, almost like a nice little alarm clock to wake everyone up.
Clever.
The rest of the people start waking up and are going about their day. Some of the people, Air Genasi, see Zar kind of huddled up with his in Drag's arms and sucking his thumb, and unknowing like what it means, some of the people just start putting their finger in their thumb, just like finger in their thumb in their mouth, just start walking around a little bit.
Yes, I started a fad. Let's go.
Thing now.
And some of like the women of the village start preparing food for everyone in the village. You see them as you kind of walk over Drag. You're immediately caught aware of like what they're doing. Food's coming. You're first in line. You see them prepping a lot of like vegetables and herbs and fruit that you've never seen on Stellaris before. And they're just kind of peeling certain things, chopping up kind of very exotic looking fruits and throwing it into like a large pot of water, boiling it over, throwing some spices and things in there, immediately like tantalizing the senses with the fragrance that it's giving off. And you're just kind of, waiting in line for the food to be ready. And as that's going on, Eladrian, you start waking up. There's like drool coming off of the bottom of your lip. And you kind of, as you open your eyes, you can see Tempest he fell asleep, but in like a pose, like he's still telling the story, like even as he was falling asleep. Like he's got his hand on like some pages or like ancient like papyrus pages and stuff like that.
I'm holding the scroll.
Yeah, holding a scroll basically, and there's like a drool coming off of him. His head's just like slouched down, sleeping.
So I wake up, and first I see that he is still in this position from falling asleep, and I chuckle to myself, and I'm like, this is my chance to escape. And I very quietly, very slowly, get up without making a sound, so that I can step away and back away and not wake him by making any noises. And
Stealth roll.
Stealth roll. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, that's not fair. It says a nat 20 for me, but it gave me a 5.
What?
You get up and like trying to turn around, like you're trying to tiptoe, but you're like just watching his face as he's sleeping. And as you're walking, you just step on a branch. A very, very loud branch just snaps under your foot. And Tempest wakes up and he just immediately rolls back into the story like he just got picked up where he left off. And that's how we came to be here.
Very good. Oh, very good. Very good. Man, you are the most brilliant of storytellers. You are so good. You are captivating. I could listen to you all day long. In fact, I did. I listened to you all night long, and it is now morning. So, I don't. Let us go. Let us find everyone else. Come with me. Come.
He kind of.
And I'll take him. Yeah.
Yeah. He reaches out his arm for you. He says, "My legs feel like they're numb. Carry me."
Carry you? For like a.
Until the feeling comes back in my leg. This happens a lot. It happens a lot.
I don't know what he's expecting from me when he says carry me, but I will take him and throw him over my shoulder, and so his, so his butt is right on, right next to my face, and I've got his legs in front, and he's hanging off the back, and I will just walk it. And I will just take him like this and walk him over and be like, I know you can't feel your legs, but don't worry, I'm holding on to them. Yeah, so you will not be falling.
And a lot of like the outerwear of the Air Genasi has been very like just very like scantily clad, like very just like slapstick basic kind of clothing. Like vests made out of like fibers from trees and plants and things like that. They were in like the straight up like traditional, almost like it's like a boxer brief almost.
Yeah,
it's like
a mud flap.
Yeah, exactly. So like his butt's in the air right next to your face, and it's like you got full like side cheek action right next to your face.
Side cheek on my cheek. It's cheek to cheek action.
And he's like, yeah, so now let us go eat. I smell food.
Oh, well, it's not what I smell.
Oh.
but let your nose point us in the way. Which way do I go?
And he goes, just keep going forward. I'm like pointing between your legs right now, if you can see.
I look down in between my legs, and there's a hand coming up from in between. Like, oh my. Okay. All right, let us go this way. Onward.
All right, and you head outside, and all the Air Genasi of the village have woken up. Everyone's kind of huddled around the large, like clay cauldron that they've made. You smell the stewing of these fruits and vegetables, a very enticing smell. And just like after a few seconds, the Tempest is like, "Oh, okay, you can put me down. I could feel my legs again."
Very good. Very good. Okay, here you go.
All right, and you place him down, and everyone kind of huddles around the the food that's being prepared. And the women's after a few more minutes of cooking and preparation, the food's ready to be served. And they start dishing out individual bowls for people. It's obviously it's a little bit smaller than the portion sizes you're used to, but you get like a heaping portion of, you can see a lot of chunks of like cubed fruits and diced vegetables, things like that. Very like aromatic, the smell. And everyone else kind of lines up behind them. You see a lot of the children are kind of like very giddy. They're kind of like bouncing up and down, very excited for this meal. Koshka, you can see Pippi's nose is up high into the air, just wafting in the smells. It's a very pleasant aroma for everybody. And while you're all are in line, Midas, you see a lot of the Air Genasi women are trying to give you back your cape, and they're all a little bit like, a little bit of a red blush comes upon their cheeks there as they're a little bit embarrassed at their behavior last night.
Give me this shit. Your glasses back on. Before standing up from his little serene spot that was serene before the Eladrin copies decided to start playing along the music and walking out.
Yeah, believe it or not, these people get loud real fast.
What do you know?
Yeah. He sighs before getting back up, and he does smell food, so he'll start walking towards the direction to see if anybody of his group is up.
Oh yeah, you can see you see Drag's like first in line. It's like with Czar, just like she's got him like with one arm, basically holding him like a child, and one arm is like her bowl of fruit stew there. You can see Koshka in line. Eladrin is like actively placing down Tempest onto the ground so he can stand. So yeah, you can get in line wherever you want. A lot of people are actually very welcoming in letting you kind of cut in front of them.
He'll actually just cut right in front of everybody, so he can stand right next to Dragon Czar.
And like everyone is totally okay with that. They're very, very happy for you to do that.
He'll roll his eyes and before looking at the two. Does anybody just feel really uncomfortable being here?
No. In fact, I feel very comfortable doing it. Being here.
Of course you do.
How comfortable are you?
Well, seeing as I couldn't move in my sleep because I was being laid on and being pulled in 17 different directions.
You were being laid
that
on
easy.
and pulled. Wow. That is a task in itself.
Well, it's your people, they're a lot.
Well, yes, there are a lot of them. You are right.
That's okay. That too.
There are a lot of them that I've never seen before.
How are you handling this?
I mean, I'm having a great time. Except the only thing I've really done is listen to stories. It's really good.
Good stories?
I mean, they're not bad stories. They're
Any
just stories.
Stories about that exalted one? What's her? Zumida?
Oh, Soupy? Supida. Yeah, that one. No. I don't think he told me any stories about her yet.
So we still don't know anything about her? Besides that, she apparently has the power to take this damn thing off, and we're supposed to go find something for her?
Yes, we are supposed to go find something in a cave somewhere, and we're supposed to bring it back. And once we have brought it back, then we will have given it to her for a sacrifice. Just like a debt. And then what
Yeah.
happens after that?
Yeah,
Hopefully your arm does not fall off, but only the bracelet.
Another fetching mission. So when are we going to do this? Are we? Oh wait, are we missing someone?
Missing?
He'll count to see if everybody's here.
1, 2, 3. He just counts everyone he sees.
Is everybody here?
61, 62,
The whole party here?
63,
At this,
64.
at this point, there's yeah, y'all you've all kind of convened. You've gotten your food, and you've all kind of like you cut in front of everyone, Midas. So you got your food first, even in front of Drag.
Oh my god.
She was not happy. She's not happy about it. But she got her food, and like Zard's got a little bowl. He's still sleeping, but he's got like the bowl on his chest, basically. And so yeah, Drake just kind of followed you guys, and probably Koshka, after a few minutes, you got your food and you joined everyone else. By the way,
When
all
she's getting her food, can she ask?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when she's getting her food, can she ask the person who's like serving it if they know what the fox millet thing is? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So
Like the plant that.
Pippi liked. So
Yes.
like, you see that, or you kind of try to describe it to them, or you probably took some, didn't you? Like you took a little bit of it.
Yeah.
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 So you show them that, and so you show them that, and they kind of just look at you a little bit like quizzically. They look over to Tempest, and they don't have a word, like they don't have a word that they know for it in common, but like Tempest would. So they kind of try to convey the words in Primordial to Tempest, and Tempest kind of comes over to you as he's slurping some of his fruit stew there, and he says, that is a weed. Like we do not eat it. We do not eat it. It's not edible.
He looks at it and weed.
Sorry, my internet keeps cutting in and out, but if you can hear me, let me know.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So Koshka will respond with, but will it hurt my badger? Is it bad for him? A bad weed?
And Tempest says, no, we have no one has ever been hurt by this weed before. But we also never see this. And he points at Pippi.
Yes, I could see how that would be a problem. Well, thank you. And then she just walks away.
and as you walk away, Tempest just like has a large like fruit, and he takes a huge bite out of it, and just like gushes on his face, just like that, and he doesn't give a shit. He just let it like drip down his face, like no problem, and smiles at you.
She looks back with horror and then like tries to smile.
By the way, you all get a long rest as well after last night.
Oh,
Yippee!
that is very good. That was
Very, very
kind.
good.
Yeah, so now after Koshka had her little kind of conversation with the weeds there, you all kind of join back together. So you're all together now.
Together again.
As Drag kind of eating her fruit, Zara will wake up a little bit and he'll hold his bowl up to give her his fruit. So what are we doing today, guys?
Is
Yeah,
this
take the
normal
ball.
for you, Zara?
What's
Sorry, go.
normal?
You just sucking your thumb and getting dragged to carry you places?
I mean, yeah, Drag's my friend.
Okay, I was just checking. I will get used to it.
Drag, does it bother you?
No. It's just standing cuddling. It's fine.
What?
That is the cutest thing I have ever heard.
And I only suck my thumb when I have long nights, okay? And last night was crazy. You people can really party, Eladrin.
We can really get down with the boogie.
Yeah. I feel like my feet are on fire. And so are my
Feet?
lungs.
Well, your lungs are probably on fire because there's not as much air for you to be breathing.
Is that why I'm hyperventilating?
That's probably the reason.
Zara, you're fine.
You sure?
You're literally just breathing fine.
You're,
Then I
you're
started
okay.
thinking about it, and it fucks at your head. I'm kind of getting a little lightheaded. You'll pass out on Drac.
Why would you tell him that, Ladrian? You know he's so
I mean, I thought you already knew. I figured because, I don't know. Anyway,
Jack puts her empty bowl back on his chest now that he's passed back out.
Don't do that. Oh my god. The day Sith started, you're already tired me out. I don't want to sleep and I'm tired.
you're not tired. You're just fed up.
Is that much better?
I mean, maybe. I guess it depends, no?
Was that a breakfast joke?
I thought this was.
Yes, it was definitely a breakfast joke.
What?
Because we are eating the breakfast. These fruit stew. It's actually quite delicious.
It is
I
delicious.
was thinking the same.
I especially like these little chunks here.
And you
Anybody else not finishing theirs?
Elijah, you kind of pull out that little chunk, and it's oddly enough, it has like almost like a very soft like glow to it, almost like it's like has like a smoky like skin to it. It's very like it's moving a little bit. The skin of this fruit, but like not like in a alive way. It's almost like almost like a very slow like wave, just kind of rippling through like the fruit.
I call. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, is it like the fruit that I ate at the night before that the lady gave me? You said it was like glowing.
No, it's a different fruit.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Apparently, the food here has a light source. But can I pull over someone that's next to me and say, "All right, look at this. What is this?" Like a Genasi, and just look at them, and in primordial be like,
Oh. Oh.
Absolutely, you can.
Oh.
ask them what this fruit is.
Yeah, and the one you pull over, just like a random lady, you pull her over, and she tells you that it's called or they call it a dream fruit.
A dream
Ooh.
fruit. It is so you can dream while awake. It is quite delicious. Comes from the dreamland. I just start making up random facts that are completely untrue. It is only available on the south side of the island.
Roll a deception for me.
Got it. Whatever that is. 15.
15. So you had that little conversation, a little back and forth with the Air Genasi in Primordial. So whatever you're telling the group, they're pretty much like gonna believe you. You're like, they don't know any better. You don't really know any better. So whatever you kind of say is making a lot of sense.
Yes. And that is why you can only pick it with your left hand. While facing south.
The Air
Hopping on one
Genasi,
leg.
the Air Genasi woman who like kind of understands common. She's like nodding along, like smiling at what you're saying.
Perfect. I look at her and wink.
She tries to do it back to you, but it's like she's never done that before, so it's like very awkward for her to do it.
Face like squishes.
Yeah. She actually like uses her hands to like close her one eye.
Perfect. And this is what this fruit is. And that is why it is so delicious. Because it tastes different for everyone. A dream fruit is only what you believe it tastes like.
Huh. You learned all of that just now?
We were speaking shorthand.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As you guys are kind of talking about the food and such, everyone of the other Air Genasi has gotten their meals and has eaten food. And Aladrin, you see Tempest start to gather all the villagers together, and he begins speaking in primordial to them. What you can hear is he's talking about something called the Feast of Remembrance that's going to be happening tonight, and that the villagers need to prepare for the evening's festivities. You see, after kind of the conversation, he like dismisses a lot of the people, the Air Genasi, and they start to go to their homes and gather like some tools and equipment and baskets and stuff like that. And he slowly kind of walks over to your group, and he walks over to you and he says, what did you need again, Adrian? What were you here? Aside from visiting your ancestral home, I remember you said something last night.
Yes, we need to have this removed here from Midas's wrist, and I grab Midas's arm and just pull it up and show him. Like, we need to have this.
His arm's like a rag doll.
Oh yes, of course. We must go to the trial of Sumida, of course. Small little thing. And he's talking in primordial, just straight to you, Aladrian. No one else can really understand him.
Okay.
So he's talking to you, and he says, "Well, before we go to the site of the trial of Sumida, we must prepare for tonight's Feast of Remembrance. It will not take too long, but we also need a lot of the villagers to come with us to the trial site. So if you can help us finish our tasks for the day, we shall get to it right away."
Okay, so we have to go to do the trial of the soup Mida, and then once we do that, we're going to have everything is going to work out. But we can't go yet because we have to have for the Feast of Remembering, because they have to remember how to eat, and so they have to have a feast for it in order to remember. And so we have to get ready for that first. And then once we are ready for the remembering how to eat meal, we will go back and we will do the soup Mita trial. Okay? Okay, so we all have to be ready to do the helping, and we are going to chip in wherever they need us to chip in. So, ready?
Oh.
Here we go.
The Tempest looks at you, Aladrin, and he says in primordial, "It's like, my common is not that good, but I feel like you didn't get the point across of what I was trying to say."
It was pretty close. I mean, right? We have to help you you have to help the chores before the food mealing, and then once the meal happens, we'll do the trial. Right? That's about it. That's about the gist of it.
The fact that I just told you what we need to do, and you very barely remembered any of it, is quite concerning.
It's not concerning. It's fine. It's okay.
It makes me wonder what goes down on Stellaris down there.
I mean, you should come find out. It's actually quite nice.
At that moment, Zara will come out of his coma and be like, "I once had a dream that the group were ducks and we flew south for the winter."
And you just hear Tempest looks over to you, Zar. He says, "What is duck?"
We
No,
are
it's-
ducks.
Yeah, it's the flappy things that quack, quack.
And
Quack, quack.
he has a very quizzical look on his face. I do not know what you say.
Oh, here. Summon anything, and anything will shapeshift into a duck. Duck.
Yes.
You see a lot of you summon anything who is in his owl form, and it immediately captures the Tempest's attention, as well as a lot of the surrounding villagers. They've never seen a creature like this before, and then it shapeshifts into a duck. Now, is the duck on the ground or is it flying?
On the ground.
All right. Anything transforms into a duck and starts kind of waddling and quacking, and just all the villagers, just they fall to their hands and knees, are just staring at it, like a full on pointer dog almost, just staring at the duck in amazement.
Yeah, so that's a duck.
And you just hear some of the Air Genasi just start whispering to each other. Oh, duck.
Quack, quack, like this,
Yeah,
like this, quack, quack,
Quack.
like this, like this, quack, quack.
Quack.
And then anything starts
Right.
quacking.
Quack.
Quack.
Okay. While he's doing that, he'll shapeshift into oh dang, what is Pippi again?
Bad.
Badger.
A badger.
A badger. I keep wanting to call him an armadillo. He'll shapeshift into
that's not.
I know, I don't know why.
So
He'll shapeshift
while,
into a badger.
yeah, so while not quite the same size as Pippi, anything transforms into a miniature version of Pippi. And everyone's just like, oh.
He'll shapeshifts into a fox, and then he'll just go through shapeshifts.
Ah. Everyone just absolutely zoned in on anything, his current little magic show he's doing.
So wait, head guy, do they not have, magic up here?
We have blessings of Sumida, but nothing like this. Pointing to anything, and to Pippi as well, actually.
Oh, so Supnita doesn't bring animals to SoundCloud Island?
Animals?
Yeah. Point to Pippi and eat animal. Oh wait, I didn't mean to point at Pippi. Wait.
Gosh, good just stares him down.
Coach God, that's not what I meant. Okay, look.
You eat these?
No.
No, not these. Not these.
Midas would put his head in his hands as he listens to it.
And and Tempest is having a hard time trying to convey what he wants to say in common. He kind of looks back to you, Eladrin, in Primordial, and he says, "We do not have any creatures like this on the island. Just Air Genasi."
Wow.
What do you say, Eladrin?
He says they have never seen animals before ever because they don't have them here. So they don't even know what this is in the first place. For Pippi was the first animal for them to have ever seen, and then out of nowhere, boom, a duck.
Ask them what kind of creatures they do have on the island.
Oh.
Tempest is nodding along as Eladrin is stalking like that. And he'll just say to you, Eladrin, he says, there are no creatures, these animals, none of them here, just Genasi.
They don't have any. It's only the Genasi. It is only us.
But that's actually kind of
Only
good,
the beautiful
you know?
bodies.
Because aren't we supposed to be going on trials? If there's no other creatures besides Genasi, that means we don't got to worry about, getting attacked by anything.
I
Okay.
think that is a valid point. Yeah, they seem
I
to
mean,
like us.
I'm
These ones
sorry
do.
that I'm, trying to be focused on the task at hand.
Midas, what would you rather? Fighting wild animals? Or doing a trial that might turn us into Eladrin?
He'll like shudder at the thought. Animals. Definitely animals.
Turn us into Eladrian.
I feel like it wasn't even like a thought. It was just like, as soon as you said it, was just like, animals. Yeah.
Yes. Pretty much that. That's not the. We won't be facing this type of trials, though, right?
Well,
Let's
maybe,
look
maybe,
at Eladrin.
maybe the trial is not fighting us all. Maybe it is us. Maybe it is a trial of wits. Maybe we are to outsmart them.
If that's the
Uh-oh.
case, we're not. Yes, what Drac said.
Maybe it is a trial of stamina, and we have to run a marathon.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
As each person says for different things, Midas is just to start groaning.
There's a playing in the mud trial. Oh no.
Okay.
There's a sewing trial. Oh, please.
Yeah.
It's okay. We don't know what the trial is, so we cannot judge. First, we must help them get ready for the remembering feasting meal, and then after that, we are going to be able to do the trial. So right now, it is not important
Do we
because we
really
cannot
need
do
to
one
help
without
them?
the other. Hmm?
Do we really need to help them?
If you want to have it off your wrist, then yes.
I just don't see what. Okay, whatever. I don't think I'm gonna win this.
Don't be so short-sighted, Midas.
I'm not. I'm just trying to focus.
You can focus on the task at hand, which is helping them with the fooding remember time.
That's not the task at. Okay.
As the Tempest kind of turns away from your group and just kind of shouts out to the people, you hear them say, let's you hear Tempest say in Primordial Eladrian, let us prepare for the Feast of Remembrance. Eladrian Breezeleaf and his friends shall help us. And when he says that, a lot of women and children run over to Drag, Czar, and Koshka and Pippi and kind of like grab you by the hands and start pulling you along with them. You can see that a lot of them have like weaved baskets, looking like they're gonna go gather some things.
Eladrin, where they're taking us?
I don't even know. At this point, I am just as much as in the dark as you are.
You see what you should sign this up for?
You can see like a line of like the villagers are heading a little bit into the forest as the couple of children grab onto you, Koshka. A couple of like the women grab onto Czar and Drag and start kind of bringing them into the forest along with them.
Drag's
Koshka calls
grunting
Pippi.
at them.
They don't know what your grunts means, and they're just like smiling at you.
She thinks they do.
What were you gonna say, Koshka?
I was just saying, she calls Pippi. Come on, Pippi. If I have to go, you have to go too.
The children are very excited that Pippi's coming along.
Oh yeah, they are. Super jacked.
He likes all the attention.
Pippi's just like nuzzling into any child that like pets him.
Yes.
All right, and you guys head off into the forest. Do me a favor, you three. Roll me initiative.
Oh no.
What?
The
Which
That doesn't feel like a favor.
which three?
Koshka, Drag, and Zar.
Well.
Well.
Music changed too.
That was just on its own. That was not me. Hold on.
I was ready to say I told you so. If I had the lip sync,
All right, there we go.
I was
All
ready
right.
to do so.
So Zar 16. Just tell me what you got if you've rolled it already.
16.
All right, Kochka 16. And Drag, what did you get?
I'm sorry, what were we supposed to roll? I apologize.
Initiative.
Ah!
The most delayed reaction, but so accurate.
3. Okay, cool.
That's 3.
Also
All right.
accurate.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume Koshka has a higher dexterity than Zara does. Probably.
+2.
+2.
Oh, what's your number? What's the number?
14.
14.
All right.
Oh, no.
20s!
15, actually.
Oh, damn.
All right. All right, Zara. All right, cool. Good stuff.
That limb broke.
All right, you guys head off. You guys head on off into the forest with everybody. Midas,
Yeah.
do me a favor. Roll a perception check for me.
Well, if
Perceptuous.
you would know that might. God damn it! Let me say it first.
It's his catchphrase.
Damn, sorry.
Damn!
I got all excited for you.
Awesome.
I can't have nothing.
Where's Corey? So Midas, you notice that a lot of the men of the village are kind of gathering their tools in preparation to head out into the forest. With that 20 that you rolled, you immediately spot that their tools are like a granite-like stone and like very primitive. Kind of weave together with primitive materials, and you can just from the glance, you can tell that the tools are very shoddily assembled as well. Do me a favor, roll a history check for me as well.
I would love to. So that's all.
Oh, hot damn.
Diggity damn.
All right, so Midas, you remember back to your lessons taught to you at the Golden Loom.
Oh hell!
Memories, and these are just like your own personal memories, but just like memories of Balfine just berating you as you missed a stitch or hammering your thumb on accident while working on some armor, and Balfine would not let you use the good tools if you were not able to use them with precision. You remember him locking you in the basement of the Golden Loom with nothing but old tools and rusty equipment to work with, and his voice kind of rings in your head. A true artist can make art with whatever they have around them. Prove to me that I'm not wasting my time with you, Midas. As he slams the door to the basement, leaving you there, you snap back to the present, and on your way to the village here, you remember some seemingly higher quality stone that would be better suited for the work that the villagers are planning to do. And you also know how to better construct the tools, and even with the limited and primitive resources at your disposal. And a thought kind of just emerges in your head that if you were able to help these villagers, they would most definitely remember your name for years to come. What do you do?
Watching him work, Midas' eyes gonna start twitching as he gets war flashbacks and he remembers his time at Vietnam, and he rushes up to him. Stop! Please, wrong tool. Not with that. Put those down.
You see the Air Genasi men are just kind of very confused. And like one of them kind of walks up with his stone axe and he says, "This," and he like slaps the axe. He says, "Good axe."
Midas would put his hand on his hips. He's like, "Good axe? Maybe for chopping wood? Look what you're doing! Does that look like wood to you?"
And he's like, "We go chop wood."
Not with that, I hope. It looks like it's about to break at any second. You like poke it.
You poke it at like the right spot, and it just like falls apart in his hand.
See what I told you?
All the men are like, "Oh, what we do?"
Not use this? Ridiculous. Do you not have any better tools to use?
No, they all kind of say in unison.
I swear, you Genasi, it's like you're always raised in a cave.
We raised on island.
I guess that's not much better. And Midas was sort of like shuffling through his bag, looking for his handy dandy all-purpose tool.
And what are you doing with that all-purpose tool?
He'll whip out his screwdriver and like throws it in his hand and goes, "Ugh. Show me what you planned to do."
And the village, the men of the village, kind of escort you to another area of the woods there, and you just kind of follow them as they appear to be leading you to where they routinely kind of cut down trees and things like that. All right,
See, for this, you need something right, something like an axe, or like axe that won't break at any second. The axe that has stability.
Yeah. So as you kind of walk towards, as you kind of walk with them, and you recall some of the stones that you had seen on your travels towards this area. And like you saw like even just in the nighttime with kind of the bright moon overhead, you saw like there was some very like durable stone. You're very accustomed to working with fine fabrics and linens and all that kind of stuff, but the Golden Loom is a very like all-encompassing kind of guild where they don't want everyone just. While people are great at certain things, they're good at everything. So
That is very true.
you would know like how to be like a stonemason in a pinch if you needed to. You would know how to properly treat lumber and cut down lumber if the situation required. So you're just very adept at a lot of things when it comes to the crafts in general. So like you're able to kind of pick out some stone that is nearby that is like a higher durability kind of stone. You can see some tree limbs and like some thicker bark that would be able to be used as a great handle or hilt to this stone. And you kind of like point that out to the Air Genasi, who then kind of go and kind of tear off some of the chunks of stone and bring it over to you. And kind of walk me through what you are kind of trying to do for these Air Genasi.
Yeah, Midas is just gonna start like just ordering people around. Like he's not moving. He's like sitting down at this point. Maybe even using one Genasi like as a seat. He's like pointing to the stone, pointing to the bark, telling them to like grab pieces and pieces of it. And he'll grab a piece of string using his handy dandy mighty ring that his friend Zor got for him, and he'll start like tying it together, reinforcing it with some great Taylor artificer magic so it doesn't fall apart. And he starts like shoving in people's hands like, all right, get chopping. Make sure you use your legs. Don't just stand there looking stupid.
The Air Genasi are like in wonder of like the quick work that you did, as like this kind of stonework for them. You just knowing how like primitive their society is. Like it would take a full-on day for them to like craft this thing and be able to use it the same day. But you gave it to them in basically like 10 minutes, and they're just like, whoa, this is amazing. And then the Air Genasi, one of the Genasi just kind of takes the axe and drives it into the side of a nearby tree, and it just cleaves like a clean chunk out of the tree. And all the Air Genasi men like immediately run over and inspect the cut that was just made, and they're just in absolute wonder.
This is ridiculous. It's like they're fucking children.
And you just hear
he'll continue to yell like, well, don't just stand there. Let's go. We got places to be.
And then you see the one guy holding the axe just kind of look towards you and say, more axe? More? Like, as in, like, he wants you to make more for the rest of the Air Genasi.
Not you're trying to put me to work. Fine. Well, I'm not gonna get the stuff. Let's go. Give me more stone and I'll do it.
They immediately scatter and just start gathering stone and
Fucking
bringing you whatever you need. And as that's going on, we'll cut over to the three that got brought over to the woods there. So Zar, since you rolled the highest on the initiative, I'm gonna give you an option. You can pick either fruits, vegetables, or spices. Take your pick.
I'll go spices.
Spices. Okay, cool. All right. So, the women and children are bringing you, Koshka, and Drag into the forest, and a little bit ways in, the groups kind of divide into three. A collection of the women and children kind of bring you towards like the west. Koshka and Pippi continue on north, and Drag is kind of brought over to the east. And you come across a large kind of open area that just has a lot of shrubbery, almost like it looks like a maintained area. Like this is an area that the Air Genasi kind of use, whether it's for its fertile soil or just kind of perfect climate, whether it's you look up, the sun is it's not too bright. There's like a pretty like good canopy of trees overhead blocking out a lot of intense sunlight. And the Genasi women and children kind of start gathering what appears to be like little plants and things like that. And you see one of them like gesture over to you. Do me a favor, roll a D6, and if you roll a 6, just re-roll it.
Me?
Yeah, roll a D6.
Okay.
Zar.
One.
All right. Yeah. 1. So perfect. So one of like the children kind of gestures over to you. He's kind of sitting nearby like a small little a small tree that has like almost like a small like little hole that one could like reach into. Like it's at the root, the base of the tree, but like there's like a small enough little hole for like you to reach into. And this child kind of pulls up this like almost looks like a stick of some kind, and he kind of gestures and he kind of shoves it in his little basket, and he gestures you to do the same, to reach in. And you pull in, you kind of reach in and you pull out the same similar stick, and you kind of give it like a little bit of a sniff. And it has a very fragrant smell to it. And the little child's Air Genasi points to it, and in very like broken common, he says, "Whispering saffron."
Whispering saffron?
And
What
he
is that?
smiles and nods at you, and he says, "Whispering saffron."
Do you eat? It's just a stick.
And he kind of like mimes the gesture of like a big pot and like putting the stick in it.
Oh, okay. So it's for like a stew.
Whispering Saffron.
I think I'm gonna call you Whispering Saffron from now on.
And the kid holds up the little stick. He said, "Whispering Saffron."
Okay, well, first off, you can't refer to yourself in the first person. That's just unmannerlike. So we're gonna teach you the ways of how to speak proper.
Oh God.
And this little kid just kind of like points to himself, and he says, "Koro."
No. That's too close to Kore. Okay. He has like a little mental breakdown for a second, and then, okay, so, Whispering Saffron. Yeah, that's your new name. Okay. Anyways, so we just stick our hand in these holes and we pull it out. Okay.
And he just says, like, points to himself, "Koro," and he points to the stick, "Whispering Saffron."
No. You, Whispering Saffron. This Whispering Saffron.
Points to himself, "Koro."
Hey, is there any other kids around? Like, is he's the only kid?
Just you and this little boy.
So you just kind of get up and leave, and you can see like another little girl. She's near like a little field. Roll another d6 for me.
Okay, okay, I have to roll d6.
Did you say how to roll d6?
No. So I'll take the stick and I'll kind of show it in front of the kid's eyes, and he'll like follow it, and I'll throw the stick and run over to the girl.
Little Koro like runs up and runs over to grab it and throws it in his basket, and he kind of like sneers at you a little bit as you've just like distracted him. So you go over to this little girl who's near like a small mound of this almost like glowing herb. Like it's a very small plant, but it has like a very faint, like almost like a white light coming off of it, just very, very subtle. And the girl kind of looks at you with a really big smile, and she kind of gestures you over towards what she's gathering.
I'll walk over. Kind of keep my eye over my shoulder for little Koro.
Yeah, Koro's mean mugging you the entire time. So the little girl is there, and you can see her very delicately pulling out like a small stone knife and just cutting at the roots, or like the base of this small little herb. It's like a little green stem with two leaves on the right and left side of it, and she slices the root of it and kind of gives it to you. Well, actually, first she smells it, and then she kind of hands it over to you.
I'll take it and kind of look at her to follow her directions.
And when you kind of breathe it in, it's a familiar smell to you, Czar. It smells like mint.
I'll take a little bite of it.
And it get kind of like you bite into it, and the minty flavor kind of just washes over your mouth, and gives you that like fresh minty breath feeling. And you can see the little girl kind of chuckle at you as well.
Kind of chewing on the leaf, you'd be like, yeah, this is way better than old Whispering Saffron over there. What's the deal with that guy?
She points over and says, "Koro?"
Yeah, that guy. He seems like he's trouble.
And as you just kind of keep talking to her, she just can't stop like giggling and laughing at you.
Why are you laughing at me? What did I do?
And she looks over to Koro and kind of like gestures him over.
No. We don't gotta do that. He can stay over there.
Koro comes over and sees you, Czar, and he also starts chuckling and laughing with the girl.
Hello? What are you laughing at? I feel very vulnerable right now.
I'm not gonna tell you why.
Oh,
well, he just, you know how like when octopuses they like ink to like cover themselves. Darkness.
Oh.
oh.
So you cast darkness, and everyone immediately starts like panicking. All the children start like kind of like the high pitched like child scared scream happens, and like the adults are just all kind of like very caught off guard. They don't know what to do as you're kind of. Do you have the vision right through that, or you don't?
No, I can't see shit.
No, you don't. So you're just in complete darkness as well. And
But they
everyone,
aren't laughing at me, so that's all that matters.
they're just screaming. And you know what? Oddly enough, Czar, in the darkness, you can still see some kind of light. And the lights, like, everything's pitch black, but you can see something like almost if you like were to stare straight down, you could see something coming almost like from your mouth. A very like faint silvery light is coming out of your mouth.
Out of my mouth?
Yeah.
Surprise.
I'll put my hand up to it.
And everything's dark. Everything goes back to being black.
So the light's not coming out of my mouth anymore?
No, not that. Now that you covered it.
Okay. I'll open it again. Can I like so when my mouth's open, can I see through the, or like does it like shine like a flashlight through the darkness?
No, not like that. Like it's literally like only like your eyes can like just pick it up, like at the like almost like you're looking down at your nose. Like you can see like a little bit of like light underneath like the tip of your nose, basically coming from your mouth.
Huh. I'll quickly cast detect magic.
Yeah, so you detect magic, and let me see, what would it kind of be? Almost like a I guess it would be like an evocation type magic. Not like it's not giving off any kind of like harmful, like threatening kind of evocation magic, like like fireballs and stuff, but more like a light kind of cantrippy kind of evocation. I think light's evocation.
Does the mint leaf that I have in my hand still, does that give off evocation as well?
It does.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool. I'll just kind of stuff that in my bag, and I'll snap anything 60 feet above me, and use him to guide me out of the darkness orb.
Just gonna leave all the women and children there in the dark. That's cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So anything kind of snaps up and flies up, and yeah, you can easily be guided out of the darkness. As once again the women and children are screaming. Some of them do emerge out of the darkness, and with anything kind of up above, and you kind of peering through his vision, you can see the women and some of the children are just like putting their hand into the darkness, seeing like their arm disappear, and like freaking out that they can't see their arm and stuff.
That's funny. As soon as so we're in a clearing, right? Is there like trees on?
Yeah, there's lots of trees nearby.
Okay, so as soon as I step out of the darkness, I'll misty step away and just kind of try to hide, because I know I'm in trouble every time I cast darkness.
Sure. So yeah, you like dispel the darkness or anything like that?
Yeah, as soon as I'm away, I'll
Okay.
dispel it.
Yeah. So you you vanish, and the darkness disappears, and all the children like run to the adults and like hug them, and you can see them, they're crying and stuff like that. And you got a little bit of mint in your pocket.
So I'll just kind of curl up in the fetal position behind a tree and be like, Why do they have to laugh at me? None of my friends laugh at me except for Midas, but Book, well, I don't like when people laugh at me.
All right, perfect. So with that, Kochka, you
Yep.
get to choose between fruits or vegetables.
Fruits.
Fruits. All right. All right.
Vegetable.
So as the groups kind of split off in their separate ways, Zar being pulled off towards the west, drag over to the east, and you kind of continue north along with Pippi. You're brought to kind of a large field. You can see that there's some tilled ground, almost like a garden in some ways. There's lots of trees. And you can see lots of very exotic-looking fruits on these trees. Something that, well, one, you grew up in the desert. Even just kind of like certain fruits are pretty rare for you. But like these fruits, there's a whole like cornucopia of fruits out there. Do me a favor, roll a d6 for me.
1.
1. All right, cool. So one of the women of the tribe kind of gestures you over to a tree, and you can see the tree's maybe about like 7-8 feet tall, and at the top of this tree, you can see these small kind of like almost like translucent orbs that are emitting like a very soft glow to them, kind of lighting up the underside of these the canopy of leaves that are above it. And the woman kind of gestures you to get on top of her shoulders.
Okay. She gets on top of her shoulders.
Yeah. So she kind of boosts you up to be able to grab some of this fruit.
Okay.
And she also kind of gestures you to like throw it in the basket on her back.
Okay, so she'll start doing that. Like she can read the body language. She's doing what she's supposed to do because she got dragged out into the woods. So she's picking as many as she needs to. And then she asks the lady she's standing on, she goes, "Why does everything glow here? Why all the food glows?"
She just smiled at you. She doesn't speak
Okay.
common.
Okay, I just talked to myself. And then she keeps picking the fruits.
Do you want to taste one?
She's gonna gesture to the lady that she's like sitting on first, that she's gonna like take a bite and see what her facial expression says.
She's like smiling and nodding at you.
Okay, then she takes the bite.
Yeah, so you bite into this fruit, and it almost has like a texture on the outside similar to like a peach, where it's kind of got that little snap when you first bite into it, and kind of that little bit of that like that mouthfeel of like the outside of a peach has, that like little almost like fuzziness to it.
Ugh, I hate peaches so much in real life. Just saying. Ugh, gross. Okay.
But when you bite into it, it's a very like tart sweetness to it, and almost kind of like it's almost got like a sourness to it, but it's an initial sour and then into like a very sweet, and it's quite palatable, quite tasty and tangy.
Okay. Gonna take a couple more bites and then just like drop it in the basket.
Pippi was like sitting there, I was begging
No.
for it. And then you throw it in the basket. He's like, oh, a little sad faced. And then the lady kind of helps you back down. Roll another D6 for me.
3.
All right, awesome. So the lady helps you down, and she kind of like pats you on the shoulder and nods at you for helping out. And then you see one of the children that was sleeping on top of Pippi earlier this morning, kind of gesture you over, and Pippi's like the first one to get there as he runs over to the little child and nuzzles up close to them. And you can see this child's like on their hands and knees picking at some berries growing on a nearby little shrub. And you can see that they're like small little berries that have like 5 points to them. Almost looks like a star.
Okay.
They're red in color. They have like little seeds on the outside. To probably yourself, they would look like almost like strawberries that have grown into like a 5-pointed star almost. Yeah.
Okay, well she's gonna kneel down beside the kid who's picking the berries and start to like pick them and like put them in their basket.
Yeah. And you see the little boy kind of look back and forth, make sure no one's looking at him, and he takes a bite out of one of the berries there. And then you see him start to work like even diligently faster at picking the berries.
Okay. Koshka's gonna like tap him on the arm and then like also look around and like grab a berry and then like eat a bite really quickly.
Yeah, and you bite into it, and it has like a little bit of like bitterness to it, kind of like almost like a not ripe strawberry. It doesn't have like a lot of flavor to it, but it does still have like a little bitter snap to it. But you feel like a lot of a feeling of like almost like wonder and euphoria kind of take over for a little bit as you get like a really intense burst of energy. And you kind of start matching the little kid's little burst of speed there with picking the berries.
Koshka's gonna start kind of like laughing because she thought that he was just doing it because he was like trying to get it done and hope nobody noticed he bit the strawberry thing, and like she didn't realize it was actually like cocaine strawberries. So
Cocaine
so she just
strawberries.
starts she just starts laughing, and then she grabs like 2 and then puts them in her pocket and then
All
keeps
right.
picking the berries.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. 2.
That's amazing. Cocaine strawberries.
All right.
I'll have 2 meth berries, please.
I was literally thinking the whole time, I was like, did he just take ADHD medication or like what's up? Like,
It's a strawberry.
oh my god.
All right, and Drag, you get vegetables. Lucky you. So
Yeah, I love my veggies.
So Drag, the groups once again split off with Zara going to the west, Koshka still continuing north, and you get pulled over towards the east. And you come upon a large, very much so like gardened area. Like a lot of the dirt has been overturned. There's lots of sprouting vegetation and things like that coming up from the ground. Do me a favor, roll a d6 for me.
Uh-oh. It's a 3.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. So as the Air Genasi that are with you kind of disperse and go towards various areas of this garden area that they've cultivated, one of them pulls you over and looks at you and says, "Drag strong." And she points down towards these large bunches of like very large leafy greens. They are almost look like crystalled in a way, but they kind of flow in the wind like any plant would. The leaves of this plant are like reflecting the light that's coming in from the sun, and kind of almost giving off like a rainbow effect, almost from like a light passing through it and reflecting off of a crystal. So it's almost giving like a very colorful effect around it. And you see one of the Air Genasi women kind of, really bear down, grab the root of these leaves, and like with what seems like a fair amount of effort, like hoist it out of the ground, and it just kind of pulls up the leaves from the root, and then they stuff it in their bag.
Drag definitely wants to try it, so she squats down over the one he pointed at, and she tries.
Yeah, awesome. So you bite into this, and you almost half expected it to be like almost like solid, like a solid crystal. But as soon as you bite into it, it's an extremely bitter taste to it. Like it tastes like kale, like just very bitter and not a lot of flavor to it. But you feel like almost your mind have like almost like a sense of clarity, really. And in the moment, like you haven't really thought about your parents for a while. You've kind of been on your own for a long time, but like just a picture, a crystal clear image of your parents comes to mind as you kind of bite and chew on this leaf here.
Yeah, so Drag like reaches for them. She's like, "Mom, Dad," and she like tries to touch them.
And like you reach out, but there's like you touch the Air Genasi woman that's beside you. And like she's very concerned. She's like, you're calling her Mom and Dad.
Her eyes go wide, and she starts like telling them all these things that don't really make sense, even in common.
And like the Air Genasi woman's like a little bit too scared to say anything. She's kind of just rolling with it.
Oh God.
And like a minute goes by, and it wasn't like you were hallucinating them. It was just like they're like the mental image of them just kind of like took over your mind for like a solid like 20-30 seconds, or maybe a minute or so. And it was just like you closed your eyes and you could just like see them, like just picture like you're looking at a photograph of them.
Yeah, like behind my eyelids.
Yeah, exactly. Do me a favor, roll another d6 for me.
On it. The one.
Awesome. Perfect. So the Air Genasi woman that you've been caressing kind of like looks over, and she sees like a rather like slender Air Genasi man, and he kind of yells over for you, "Drag here!" And it kind of snaps you out of this little stupor that you're in, and you go over to where he was calling you, and you see he's kind of in a spot that is very shaded from the moon. Like it's almost like a rock is kind of like over top of this small little cluster of plants. And these look like very like gnarled roots, almost kind of erupting from underneath the ground. And you see him kind of take out a stone knife and cut at some of these roots here, and you see him kind of throw it in his bag, and he kind of gestures for you to help him out a little bit.
So yeah, is Drag able to just like grab and twist one of the roots with her hand?
So as you kind of reach for one of the roots, you notice that the root becomes like invisible, almost like you reach for it and it kind of vanishes in front of you, almost like taking you aback a little bit.
Yeah, Drag's eyes go wide, and she's a little freaked out now.
And the slim like Air Genasi man just kind of like chuckles a little bit at you, and he reaches for where that root was, and you can see him grab onto something. And then like a moment later, the root like reappears in his hand.
She like shakes her head like a dog trying to like make sense of it, and then reaches for a different one to see if it happens again.
Yeah, so you reach for another one, and you're able to grab onto it, but while you're holding onto it, it turns invisible, but you can still like feel it in your hand. It's just invisible in your hand.
So now she's like nodding her head like, oh, I figured it out. And then tries to twist and pull it.
Yeah, and you're very easily able to kind of like, just like a quick snap of the wrist, and you're able to like break the root very easily. And you kind of like, what do you do with this root in your hand?
So she kind of like silently asks, like puts it up to her mouth, like, do I eat this?
You
to
see
the Air Genasi.
You see the guy kind of make like a gross looking face. He's like, oh, no.
So then she imitates him and then takes it quickly away from her face. Like, no, that's not what we do. And then looks around to see if there's any other things going on. She's fascinated by all these things.
Yeah, lots of people are around this area. Roll another d6 for me.
You got it. 4.
4, awesome. All right, so, so kind of on like the opposite side of this garden, there's like another. There's kind of similar to like what Zara was dealing with. It's like a larger hole at like the base of a tree that doesn't get a lot of sunshine, but you can see like a small Air Genasi child is in there picking at stuff. And you can go kind of take a look and investigate if you want to.
Yes, definitely. She tries to bend all the way down to get on the child's level. And she tries to figure out what they're doing.
Yeah, so let's just say it's a real tight fit for you, Drag. Like you can kind of like you can basically like get like if you're on all fours, you can get like your head and like one arm / shoulder into this small area. And as you kind of peer underneath this tree, you can kind of see growing from the underside of the tree is a lot of like these glowing mushrooms.
Drag gets really excited. She's like, mushrooms are the best. And she's like, do we pick them up? Do we pick them? To the kid.
Yeah, you see the kid is already kind of has like a little pile on the ground, and he's like, yes, pick. And the mushrooms are also giving off like a little bit of a silvery glow to them as well.
Yeah, I definitely try to take a few, like at least one for everybody in the party. I'm like, everybody loves mushrooms.
All right. So yeah, you grab help the child with gathering a couple of mushrooms, and then you kind of gather a few just for, your own personal use. That's perfect. Great. All right. So you guys kind of are continuing to help out the party, or you're helping out the villagers and things like that. And we'll kind of cut back to you, Eladrian, as you've kind of just been watched all your friends kind of go off and do what they were doing. So it's kind of like, you just saw them all leave, and now you're like, oh, what do I do? So guess who's there with you? Good old Tempest. He's there to help you.
Tempest. Oh, good. Another story.
So, Eladrian, as your friends kind of go off with all of the villagers to help them out, Tempest kind of grabs you by the forearm there, and he pulls you along with him. He kind of guides you towards a a direction, kind of more towards the south of the village, and it's a little bit a ways from where all of the structures are. And he once again kind of goes into a little bit of a story with you, where he's bringing you to a site where your people conduct one of a very kind of sacred ritual. He brings you towards like a small wooden hut in the distance from the village, and as you approach there, you can see there's multicolored smoke billowing out from the spaces in between the wooden walls of the small hut. There's vibrant greens, purples, reds, and yellows that leak out from within and dance in the thinner air here on Sound Cloud Island. And Tempest sees you kind of looking at the smoke, Eladrian, and he kind of just says, as you guys are walking straight forward, he says, "The smoke tells Sumida that one of his children's souls has passed on into the wind."
Someone has died?
Yes, one of the elder before me, in fact.
When did he die? How long does this smoke for? Did he die last night?
Well, he actually passed away only a few days ago. And tonight is the night we honor his soul.
Oh, so you're not having a meal to remember how to eat. You are having a meal to remember this guy.
And he kind of like nods and laughs at you. Yes, exactly, yes.
Well, no wonder I told the story wrong.
And he kind of walks closer towards the hut, and the smoke coming out of it is quite thick. And Tempest kind of brushes aside the woven tree leaves that this hut uses as a door, and as he kind of brushes it aside, a large plume of the colorful steam and smoke exits from behind the woven door. Tempest just kind of enters in first, taking in deep breaths of this smoke. Do you follow him in?
Of course.
All right, so as you walk in, Eladrian, you breathe in a sweet but smoky smell with a hint of something that smells similar to lavender.
That's nice.
And as the smoke thins, you see a body upon an altar wrapped tightly in leaves and vines. There are two clay pots, one at the head and another one at the feet, with a small fire that's slowly burning under them. This fire is causing whatever herbs are in these clay pots to fill the hut with the fragrant and colorful smoke. Tempest bows slowly towards the body on the altar and kind of reminds you, he says, "We pay homage to the elder who just passed a few days ago. His soul joins the wind, and I am now the elder. Tonight, we will celebrate their life with the Feast of Remembrance, and Sumida will come to see their children. With the arrival of the Terramore, I feel as though Sumida has given my future as the Elder his blessing. We are happy to have you here with us, Eladrian."
Well, we are so glad to be here also. Me, the Terramore, and my friends as well. So, what is... So this guy has... What did he die of? Why did he die?
Well, we all die someday.
It was like natural causes. It wasn't like a freak accident.
Well, you see how old I am, and and when he says that, you really look at his face, and it's like crow's feet, liver spots for an Air Genasi, just like old wrinkly face. He's like, he was the elder before me, so imagine how old he was.
So I just wanted to make sure I understand why. That's all.
Yeah,
okay.
He was old.
He was an old guy. He's all right. Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
And even without, Sumida only really comes to grace us with his presence only in very certain times. One is if anyone passes his trial, which has been not something that has happened in over 50 years.
And we are going to pass, and we are going to take the trial after we are done collecting the things, yes?
Yes, of course.
Yes, alright, cool. So
And the last time that our village has seen Sumida was over 30 years ago.
So you're going to have two things from a long time in the one night. Someone passed the trials and see Sumida. And probably the first time for someone to watch Sumida complete the trials.
It has been quite a long time since anyone has been able to complete the trials. This is why I feel your arrival is a blessing from Sumida. All these things happening at the same time. It cannot be coincidence.
Not at all. This is definitely a soup meaty blessing.
And some of the Air Genasi, the younger ones, they've never seen Sumida before, and sometimes they have a hard time believing in him. But when there are celebrations like the passing of the soul into the winds, then Sumida comes and makes himself known to his children, renewing our faith in him.
Of course. It'll be good for us to all to see and to believe in the soup meter.
And he kind of puts a hand on you, and you see him just kind of take a deep breath in of all this smoke. Elijah, make a Constitution saving throw for me as you're just standing in the smoke having this conversation.
It's delicious. Oh no.
All right.
Oh God. Dang.
So Tempest, you see Tempest, breathing in this stuff, and it's not affecting him kind of whatsoever. But Eladrin, you are kind of breathing in this stuff, and you've dabbled with substances in the past.
Certainly.
You kind of know when you're having a good trip or a bad trip.
I know my way around.
This is one of those times where it's hitting you, and you are behaving the exact opposite as Eladrin usually behaves. Like, where you're usually an outgoing and life of the party kind of guy, you're getting very introverted and antisocial because of the side effects of this smoke.
I feel like I'm turning into Midas.
And Tempest kind of walks out of the hut with you, and as you exit outside, you see that there are three Air Genasi women very keen on wanting to spend some time with you, if you know what I mean. But Eladrin, you feel immediately sick to your stomach with the anxiety at the thought of talking to someone right now. You tuck your head down and you kind of run past them somewhere in the forest where you can be alone for a few hours to let this weird buzz die down, or maybe even sleep it off. And the women are just like, breeze leave, as you run by them.
I wish I could cast darkness.
You can't. You just run off with your head tucked between your legs, basically. You're just like running away from the social interaction.
Yeah, I just run. I scream as I run by. I'm like, ah! And just run. I kind of put my hands around my ears, like, oh, stop the music, and I keep running. I just run.
Of course, you can do whatever you want. No, run.
No, get out! No.
All right. With that, let's take a little break.
All right.
As Eladrin runs off into the forest to be alone. All right. So we pick up a little bit later on, kind of like early evening. A lot of you guys have been out helping gather all day. Midas, you helped kind of craft some superior equipment for these Air Genasi men who are very, very appreciative of your fine work. They are showing off the axes and all the other tools that you helped craft for them to all the women and children of the village. They're like showing them the axe and then pointing at you. All of them are just in amazement at the fine work that you've done. Eladrin, you're kind of finally coming down after a couple hours of breathing in that smoke that you inhaled. And you all kind of gather together in the center of the village there, where Tempest is kind of joining you guys. And he comes up to you all and he says, "So we will be preparing for the Feast of Remembrance, but while we do that, you will all be facing the trial of Sumida." And he says this to you, Eladrin, in Primordial, hoping that you'll translate for him.
Get ready for the soupy meat trial.
Okay.
And Tempest will kind of look to some of the villagers, and he kind of beckons them, and you hear him say, Eladrin, "Gather the instruments, for we make our way to the trial of Sumida, so the Terramore and his friends can gain Sumida's favor." You all see, you don't understand Tempest's words, but you see a lot of the Air Genasi, some of the older ones, like the men and women that looked rather seasoned, gather up like some drums, woodwind instruments, things like that. In the meantime, kind of in this period of time where you guys had a couple of hours, you would have been able to get a short rest. So if you need anything to short rest for, you can do that. Tempest will kind of look to you, Eladrin, and he'll say, "Are you and your friends ready to face the trial?"
Are we ready to face the trial? We were born ready. The ducks are the most ready that they have ever been.
The ducks don't even know what the trial is.
We don't. We are ready for the soupy meat trial.
I really hope it's not soupy meat.
What?
What? He keeps saying soupy meat. What if we have to eat soupy meat? That's really gross.
Well, you can.
I like soup.
I think drag can finish all of our bowls if that's the case, or
what? They're saying all this stuff about feast and stuff. We're the soupy meat.
I will admit, hearing all these things about feasts are giving me war flashbacks.
I don't think that we are the feast, but it is a valid concern.
How do you know? Do you crave? Oh, never mind.
Do you crave? What?
I was gonna say.
Know where that was going.
I was gonna say human flesh, but I was like, wait, why would I say that?
Do you crave?
I don't think any of us are even human, to be honest.
No.
So we're all good.
Well, that's a good point, actually. I didn't even realize that.
Midas was just sigh and smacks her off the side of the head.
Wow.
Think.
Also, I hadn't. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I had an unrelated thought that soupy meat sounds gross, but meaty soup,
Yum.
doesn't sound that bad. All you gotta do is flip the words around, right? Right? Because soupy meat sounds gross.
It does.
Soupy meat does sound a lot.
Right? But a nice stew with lots of meat in it, delish. I'm hungry again, I think.
Eladrin, ask them if they would change their god's name to Meaty Soup.
I like
Drag's
it.
tummy rumble.
Hey, Hey, Tempest, can we change the gun? Can we, instead of a soup meat, can we call it meaty soup?
He's just like, what are you even talking about?
Why did you let us eat all those weird things in the forest today? It's been a long day.
Oh, you tasted some of the
no.
bounty of SoundCloud Island?
Yes, why does all of your fruit glow?
What are you talking about?
Have you not had the glowing fruit? There's at least 3 different kinds.
No.
Have you eaten anything? Are you hungry?
Are you hangry?
No.
Mhm.
But why would I be hangry? That's not the point.
Sometimes you're a little moody, Midas. I'm just checking in.
That's another digit. What? No, I'm not hungry. Why are you eating random fruit that I don't know anything about?
Okay, but that's not the question I'm asking. Did you hear me say that it glows? There's multiple things here that they eat that glow.
You can't even say it like that. Like, they eat. You ate it too. So you know much better.
I mean, I did, but I don't have a retort for that. I just ate it.
Yes,
but
exactly. You ate
why are
glowing
they all
fruit
glowing?
without knowing what it's going to do to your body. You don't know if your body can even process it. Who knows? You might be dying in the next 5 hours.
If I die, I die. At least I'm with you, Midas. It's fine.
Not for long.
Got the point. At least we are together.
Because of the fruit.
And then they could turn us into a meaty soup.
Oh, Lord.
Wait, the perfect way to go.
Perfect.
What?
So
You,
I don't think that's the trial though.
you see,
But we don't know.
You see a lot of the villagers kind of return with all like their instruments and stuff like that, and are just waiting on Tempest's go ahead to start heading towards the trial. And he's kind of still looking at you, Eladrian, and he says, "Well, are your friends ready for the trial?"
Do we get to know? They are asking if we get to know what the trial is before we go risk our lives.
Of course you will know. We shall talk about it on the way to the trial.
Oh, good. Okay. He's going to tell us what it is on the way, guys. Don't worry, I'll tell you everything.
Oh, God.
Is there any way we can get
I
a new
trust you.
translator?
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
Tempest looks to you, Zar, and he says, "Eladrian does not speak well."
No, he speaks great. It's just
No, he does not.
well, he just doesn't speak. You know, he likes to add flavor to the words.
Well, I'll do best to tell you trial.
We're so fucked.
Yeah, let's go back to Eladrian.
and Tempest just says, "Oh," he kind of gestures to the village. "Okay, let's go." And the villagers, you start to hear them prepare and get ready to go, and you hear them start playing this song, which is, side note, an actual banger. So I really like it. So they start playing these the drums louder, and kind of a procession leads out of the village, going deeper into the forest. And Tempest kind of gestures you all to follow along with him. So as you guys are walking, Tempest looks over to you, Eladrian, and he says, "The sacred cavern is protected by an ancient and powerful lock crafted by Sumida that can only be opened by many Air Genasi working together. To successfully complete the trial, a flower known as the Starlight Orchid must be obtained and brought back to the village. The orchid is used as an offering to Sumida the Exalted. If the trial is completed, Sumida will grant your desire. It has been many years since anyone was able to successfully complete the trial. In fact, the last 7 Air Genasi to try were never seen again.
Okay.
All that I know is that something ancient was bound by Sumida inside the cavern and has remained locked there, seemingly for centuries. Once the doors are opened, once the lock is opened to your group here, you will head inside and the doors will close behind you and cannot be opened to let you out. From the stories that are known to me, there is a way out of the trial area, as the first Terramore had to get out somehow. But I do not know exactly how he got out of there.
Were the last 7 that went in there, were they Terramore?
I mean, they tried to be by getting Sumida's blessing, but were unsuccessful.
Okay, guys, here's the deal. All right. So behind this door here in the cave, there is a sacred flower that we are supposed to go and find, and then we bring it back to soupy meat with extra salt.
That's it.
And once we bring back the flower, everything is good. But I'm not supposed to tell you that the last 7 times that this has happened, the people that went in were never seen again.
Oh, that. Wait, what?
Possible.
Eladrin,
I wasn't supposed to tell you that.
what do you sign us up for?
Well, we're just going to go get the flower. The last ones were not of the Terramore, and that is what I am. And I have returned, and so now that is another thing that is super rare for us to have a Terramore with us. Maybe that is the trick. Maybe that is the secret to why the others could not get out. Maybe they are still inside. Maybe when we go inside, they'll be there waiting, be like, oh my god, they could not get out. We needed a Terramore, and here you are. And then, 5 in, 13 out. That's what happens. 12, 13. I don't know how many numbers are work.
We're so fucked.
And
So-
as you guys are walking towards this area, you can see all the Air Genasi as they're playing this freaking awesome music. They're dancing and very joyous at the prospect of someone being successful. And Eladrin, kind of based on what you had the talk with Tempest earlier, the opportunity for Sumida themselves to be coming to grace them. So everyone's very jubilant and excited for you guys to be participating in this trial. You can imagine them dancing and playing along to this song as they go towards the trial area. So after a short duration, maybe 15-20 minutes walking into the forest, accompanied by the Air Genasi's musical entourage, you all begin to notice stones covered in overgrown vines and moss that are stacked around 5 to 6 feet high that are seemingly guiding you all to the site of the trial. The sunlight is being cast from behind you as though it's just becoming dusk. The stacked rocks shimmer and shine a soft orange color like that of the sun. And upon closer inspection, Midas, you kind of take a look a little bit closer and notice the small traces of Corsine in the stone that has absorbed the light of the sun for many years, giving off this glow that's similar to torchlight. And as you guys approach this very large and circular door, you can see that there are many primitive carvings on the large circular stone door that blocks the entrance to this cave. The cave, it's also surrounded by a platform of reverence, as this is a very sacred area for the Air Genasi. going up a little bit closer to the doors, you can see a lot of carvings on this door with a lot of depictions of you can see like a person approaching the door, and there's like 6 Genasi around them. They have the image of them like casting something towards the door and it opening. And then like the next image that's like so like this first image is like on, let's say, like the 9 o'clock of this door, so it's on like the left side, and then it goes up to 12 o'clock where you can see the door opening, and the person walking into this cave, and then it goes to the 3 o'clock where there's a depiction of this individual person and the image of something unknown. It's like the image of, it looks like a shield almost, but the shield is like 2 to 3 times larger than the individual in the depiction of the photo. And then at the bottom of this, the 6 o'clock of this stone door, you can see there is a depiction of flowers at the bottom of it. And that's kind of like the design that's on this door, as well as other kind of intricate carvings in it. Doesn't seem to have like much significance, more for like artistic flair, with kind of these carvings in the stone. You guys can kind of see along the sides of the door there are like 6 almost like funnels, almost, it looks like. And Tempest and the Genasi that have been following you have stopped playing their music. And Tempest looks to you all once again, and looks to you, Eladrin, and says, "Are you all ready to face the trial of Sumida?"
I look at the ducks and I say, "Are we ready to fly?"
Yep.
Quack, baby.
Look,
And I turn to Tempest and I go, "Whack."
And he just kind of stares at you because he doesn't know what that means.
I mean, yes. Yes. I mean, yes, we are ready.
Ah, very well, very well. And Tempest signals 3 Air Genasi men and 3 Air Genasi women to go on towards the sides of the door where those funnels are. And kind of similar to what your father Dornian had done, Eladrian, just yesterday. You kind of see them almost like they're waving their hands around in a very fluid motion, seemingly almost like gathering the wind as they release. You see them kind of release a torrent of air from their hands as they thrust their arms forward towards these funnels, each of them kind of directing the air into a funnel each. And the air just kind of blasts into these funnels, and you can hear some shifting of the stone door as it, you hear the lock chunk, and the door scrape against the stone as it kind of rolls over towards the side, revealing like a very dark cave. And as the cave exits, you guys hear some noises come out.
What was that?
Oh
Well,
my!
it
What
bumped
was
like
that, Eladrin?
As like the air just kind of escapes from this tunnel and kind of hits you all with like a gust of wind as the door like opens its seal for the first time in a long time.
Well, we said we were ready, so in we go. Come on, ducks. Let us flock together. Let's fly.
Do not ever say that again, Eladrin.
V formation.
All right.
Yeah, drag poles are weapons before we go in.
Might not be a bad idea.
Oh.
Oh, speaking of that, mage armor.
I may rage too.
Midas activates his defensive field.
Immediately
He's a
on
little,
guard.
he's a little
everyone.
nervous.
Ladrin doesn't do shit.
He brings out his loot. Dun, 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 dun.
Koshka pulls out her bow and then like make sure that like Pippi's helmet's on nice and tight and everything's good for him.
Yeah, Pippi's strapped. He's ready to go.
He's ready.
Trapped.
And as you
What
guys,
should we be expecting again? You said we have to find a flower in a cave?
We have to find the flower of remembrance. I don't remember the flower's name. I just know it's a big glowing flower.
I thought
And
that
so we have to go
feast
find
was
it.
remembrance.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. This is the flower of something else then.
And we are in a cave, right?
We are in the
Yeah.
cave.
and so before, as you guys like are about to head in, you guys are like preparing all of your stuff. Tempest once again kind of looks over to all of you, and you know he does his best to say, he says, "Get the starlight orchid, and beware the shaka."
Wait, was that in common?
Yeah, that wasn't common.
Okay.
Who's Vashaka?
What is that?
It's Shaka Khan.
And he just kind of like he points over to that one depiction on the front door that you can still see of like that shield that was next to the depiction of the Air Genasi.
Ladrin, what is that?
That is Shaka.
Yes, but what is that? What do we need to be mindful of? What do you did you miss something?
I don't miss anything. As far as you know.
So what are we supposed to be expecting? Did he not tell you?
I mean, apparently Shaka might be down here somewhere. We just need to be on the lookout.
So you don't know what it is.
It's apparently Shaka.
I hate you, Ladrin.
Oh, wait, you like to shaka people, so you probably like it. Was that a bad joke? Oh man.
Midas just bleeped that Zor. Like, what did he just say to me?
You know, shaka, like you shock people. Psh, psh.
Shocking grass?
Yeah.
Shocking awe.
Shocking the awe, baby.
Oh, I like that.
And we are getting the Moonlight Orchid Star.
Damn flower.
So it's probably a glowing flower somewhere in the light, in the darkness. It's like some sort of a light. That is the moonflower orchid. Shining. Star.
I mean,
Starshine moon orchid.
it should be easy to find then.
That should be fine. Yes, we should. As long as we are careful, we have nothing to worry about.
Then
I mean,
you
how
ain't-
hard can a glowing flower really be if we're in a cave?
Exactly. Very good. So we are all in agreement. Onward, forward, go. Here we are.
Absolutely. Eladrian's gonna lead us, right?
Lead the
Yep.
way, Mallard.
Time to go into the cave. 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 We are in the cave.
You guys begin to walk into the cave, and all the Air Genasi behind you are just kind of like are staring in like a very actually they're on their like hands and knees in a prostrating position as you guys walk into the trial site. And as soon as you guys pass the threshold, the kick up of the gust of wind coming through leaves like a very thin but like kind of a like almost like a smoky ambiance to the area. Like the dust is kicked up, so it makes the vision a little bit harder to see as you walk in, and the doors slowly close behind you as the trial of Sumida the Exalted has begun, and we'll end tonight's session there.
Oh,
my gosh. We are in the super meat trial of extra salt.
Try again, DM.
Oh man. Here we go.
Midas is. So, what are we supposed to be expecting? And the last one's like, this thing, Midas. Okay, so what is that? It is this thing. Okay, but what is that thing? It is a thing. Like, okay. Okay.
Classic.
Can I also
I mean, it
just
makes
make a
sense.
point that Midas made like an army of axes for people he does not know very well. And Koshka gave back the dagger of friendship, and he still's like, no, I don't trust you. I just wanna say, I've been thinking about this whole damn time, but it's
in Midas's defense, one of these people, either you or all the Eladrin copies, are very manipulative.
Eladrin copies.
I'll let you figure out who's who.
okay.
Wait, that's an underhanded comment calling you really smart.
Sorry.
You know what? I'll take it. That's fine.
Look, that's the best comment you can get from Midas.
Hell yeah.
Midas was literally bossing them around, and they're like, "Yes, Midas, anything for you, Midas." And you're worried about. And
You gave them all axes. An army of people.
They barely know what to do with
Weapons
it.
aren't good enough.
They barely even know what to do.
You know what? I support you and your choices, but if this comes to bite us in the ass, I will say I told you so. That's all. That's all.
I will say I told you so.
I definitely been wondering how this whole thing is for the bite us in the ass. Something Midas does not trust it at all.
Yeah. Seems
It'll
highly
happen.
sketch.
It'll happen somehow.
It's giving Cody, and I think we're gonna become meat soup.
Oh no.
Soup.
Or soupy meat. I don't know, y'all. It's not looking so good.
I hope you're I hope you don't hate that I butcher your names all the time.
I don't mind. It just adds a layer of confusion to everybody.
Soupy meat.
The fact that Koshka was like, soupy meat sounds bad. What if we call it meaty soup?
Oh
Like,
my.
what?
That is such a mighty duck thing to say, and it pisses me off.
Yes.
But it does sound better, okay?
does.
It does.
Of course.
It's like you're about to take on this trial where you might die, but meaty soup, yeah.
Right?
We
Just
had a
trying to be
whole
optimistic, you know?
conversation.
Meaty soup is great. Soupy meat, not so much. So, I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, soupy meat doesn't sound like it would be appetizing. Imagine what a bowl of that looks like.
Ugh,
No.
Mm.
no, I'd rather not imagine it.
All I could think of was like the worst pies in London.
Yeah, yeah.
What is this? Looks like piss. This is piss. Fucking sweet.